you just sort of like there's that faith. You just take that step, and you don't know you're stepping into like empty space. You're stepping into something where there's no ground, there's no certainty, but you still have to take an action. So maybe they are
Yeah.
talking about the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stepping off the 10,000-foot pole. So
Um,
that's kind of, I mean, doesn't Buddhism and I think Eastern philosophy in general, they're they have an easier time with dealing with just life is full of uncertainty, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, Buddha, the Buddha's last words were um, something like all component things pass away, which is like everything that arises, everything you experience, everything that's a thing is already passing away. Once it's a thing, once it's come into existence, it's going to go out of existence. And that's sort of the core teaching, sort of one of the central tenets of Buddhism is just whatever comes up goes. And so when you have that being, the underlying philosophy or ontology of your culture for millennia, like it does have an effect. And I don't know all the Eastern religions. I'm not,
Mm.
I certainly can't speak much to Hinduism, but I know Taoism very similar. Just sort of this uncertainty and being able to live with this uncertainty. And whereas I think we're very attracted to that in the West because especially modern times in the West, our cultural tradition is no, you can be very certain of it, and you do it through the scientific method, and you have a hypothesis, and you run experiments, and that's not wrong, but it's incomplete, and we mistake it for like the way everything works, and so there's this draw for something that allows us to have some uncertainty because then there's room to breathe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
And even for that science, I think that picture is sort of this scientism that people often use to talk about morality too. And maybe the new atheists did this some with just how stupid all the religious people are, and they've messed up history and everything. According to Vervaeke, I mean, science doesn't, and we know that scientific truths are tentative, right? We've gone through the history of science long enough to see like these truths that people maybe were so certain about ended up being only partially true or almost the opposite is true or opposite also is true with like quantum mechanics or something like that. So uh we and Vervaeke talks about plausibility as really the measure of scientific truth rather than certainty. And of course, he goes all off on how certainty has, I think, like maybe you're indicating, has kind of ruined our culture as because we're looking for certainty all the time and we're never finding it and we're despairing and we're blaming all sorts of things on it for not being certain, and everybody else is stupid, and but I'm alone and I'm just in my mind, and
Yeah. Ouch.
I I, I did,
Can relate.
probably did a little too much there, but
No, it's good. It's good. No, not too much. I was thinking, you were talking about certainty, versus what was the other word?
plausibility, which I
Plausibility.
loved hearing that seems right to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree because it brings in that sort of the thing we're talking about in the East, like you're not quite sure. It makes things
Yeah.
more liquid. It makes them more alive. They're not so like solid and immovable and certain. I like that a lot. And I was thinking, certainty, plausibility, and like precision kind of falls in that same area, but then also permanence. And I think we sort of lump them all as if they're the same thing,
Mhm.
as if you were certain, then you're guaranteed to be precise. And if you're precise, you're guaranteed to be permanent. And that's just the way things always are. And none of that's true. Like you can be precise about something that's plausible, and you can certainly be precise about something that's impermanent. I'm thinking of the Tibetan Buddhist sand mandalas. They tap the little things and they make this beautiful image. And that requires a lot of precision to create that. But then it's just sand. And I mean, they sweep it up at the end, but even if they didn't sweep it up, like it's not staying that way. they could leave it there, and a windy day comes through, and whoosh, the whole thing's gone without anybody laying a hand on it. And we forget in our hubris in the West with all of our scientific progress that like it's all based on plausibility. It's all based on things that, may or may not change or may not be the entire picture. I think the ecological crisis we're in has a lot to do with the fact that the part of our brain that understands science and progress does not understand relationality. And nature works on relationality. That's how things thrive and grow in nature, is they relate to each other and they understand. And um,
Yeah.
and we forget that because we think we can be so certain and precise and consistent, and unchanging. Um,
Yeah, and we don't know about the second order effects or the externalities of the things that we're doing. And
because there's no relationship, because we can't relate. We're so focused on thinging and permanence and like concepts, that to relate there has to be the possibility of change. You have to be able to take in new information about something. You can't be certain about what it is, because then you're not relating to the thing. You have a concept that you're relating to in your head, just what the concept is.
Please like and subscribe for more of our open-minded content, and comment below on your thoughts or questions about the story. Let us know if you'd like us to cover another stimulating story, and thank you for participating.